There we go. Okay. And we're in. Okay, good deal. So we're in. How's everybody doing?
Good. Excited.
There you go. Oh, there you are. Okay. Getting a charger, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, guys. So my name is Nick, and I teach a lot of KVcore classes here. I do some marketing stuff. I have a marketing business. I'm a realtor with EXP. Nick Macri is my full name, and pass out some cards later on. If you guys are interested in anything that we talk about today, if you need some extra help or some one-on-one, I think I've worked with Sherry. I've worked with a bunch of other people. Angie, we did some group work with some other people as well. But you know, if you guys need help with any kinds of training and stuff, I could be a guy for that. So feel free to reach out anytime. We're gonna go over some. I was gonna plan on going over some basic stuff today, but what we'll do is we'll walk through some stuff on listings, how to put in pocket listings, how to market those, how to build some of those squeeze pages, a little bit of review for some people. And then we can go over how to do some follow-up. So anything other, any other things that you guys specifically wanted to cover?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I'd love to learn about landing pages and how to create those and where to drive those. And I already know how to promote those, but that's my big thing.
Okay.
Squeeze pages.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I kind of struggle a little bit with CMAs. If it's possible, we could go over that a little bit.
CMAs through KVcore or do like the MLS?
MLS.
Okay. We're probably just going to stay in KVcore.
Okay.
But KVcore does have a feature where they will generate a CMA for you. I can show you how to
They
do that.
do.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
is that what you guys use? KVcore?
Well, I wouldn't use it as like my CMA that they requested, but it's a good way to kind of hook them in.
Okay, cool.
A lot better than a Zestimate. So,
Yeah, that's a good lead magnet.
it's also a good way to find those comparables. So.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, just to look at it again, is if you were to put your entire database in here, because I've not ever done any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something you should have done.
What'd you say?
Something you should have done.
There's a lot of should have. I'm like, oh my God.
Do you have it?
I get so wrapped up with my kids' lives that then I'm thinking, it's literally been a year since I left Allentown. I'm like, where has this year gone? You know?
Yeah. Do you have an Excel file? Did you before you left? Did you get them to send it to you?
Yeah, I got
so
that.
I did the same thing from Allentown too. So you can upload
Oh, you
it in
are.
here.
I'll have
So
to
you
talk to you.
Yeah, you can
I
upload
don't
it
see
in
many
here.
that come from Allentown. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so we can cover a wide variety of stuff. But I want to start today here in the listings tab. Who here has a listing coming soon or a listing active right now? Sherry, you got something? Angie, is it still that townhome?
No, I sold that one.
Good.
I got
Okay,
another
good.
one
Good.
that I'm doing now.
Awesome.
Congrats.
Yes, thank you.
Well, so one thing that we all want to know is kind of how do we promote these listings that we have coming soon before they actually hit the market. And a lot of times what I see is a lot of realtors will just kind of post a picture of it. Hey, check this out, give me a call. But KVcore actually has a feature in here where you can create a squeeze page or a landing page for your listing before it actually hits the MLS. And people can get a chance to look at it, okay? It's a good way to get leads. It's also a good way to get it out there to brokers that want to see the house, preview it online before it hits the market. So we can go here. So again, we're in the listings tab today, okay? Then we're going to go over to manual.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Does that tie into any of the regulations with MLS about coming soon, no show?
Well, yeah, you still have to always want to be in compliance. But this is just strictly for like social media. So you can put some information here. It doesn't pull anything from the MLS. We're actually going to input it. That makes sense?
Now, this is through EXP, but if you're not with the company, then would you still have access to this, or?
You can get the system. It's called conversion. But for someone not in EXP, it does cost a lot more.
Okay.
Are you with EXP right now?
No, I'm a big of my own firm.
Oh, okay, cool, awesome. It is something you could get for your own firm.
Okay.
But you know, a lot of basically what we're going to cover today is kind of how to use the system. It is a tool that we get through EXP. We basically pay $50 a month for a tech package. It includes this, includes a lot of other things as well.
Just so you know, it's $3.99 a month.
Yeah, $3.99 a month for someone normally, and we get it for less than 50 basically. So,
Okay.
but yeah, that's just that part of it. But as far as how to use this tool for, like I said, coming soon, stuff like that, we put it in manually, right? So again, we go to listings and then you're gonna go to manual, and you can see here you go to add listing, okay? And this is where you can put all these details in, right? So if you know you're getting a listing soon and it's exclusive, it's coming soon, something like that, you could go ahead and put the address in. You could select again, okay, this is coming soon, exclusive. You can even create a squeeze page, it's interesting enough, for your past sales, for like recently sold.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So you can say, hey guys, check out this awesome house I just sold.
And how did you get to that portion again? I'm sorry.
So here, I'll walk it back.
Manual.
Yeah, so we went to listings,
Yep.
and then the default is that you're gonna be on MLS.
Right.
You wanna go over to manual, okay? And then after you go to manual, you can click on that green button. So I'm gonna go back to manual, and I can go over here,
To add listing.
add listing.
Okay.
And again, you put the address in.
Even if it's sold already?
Yeah, you can, yeah, exactly. You can put the address, even if it's sold. So again, basically, this doesn't pull anything from the MLS. This is all, you're putting the information in.
Okay.
It's just like you see, like I said, someone, a lot of times when people say, hey, I got something coming soon, listing coming soon, they just post a picture of it on Facebook, call me today. That's all they do. This just allows you to make it more presentable, and you can put it on your website. And now you have a squeeze page to show it to realtors. Maybe even get some leads off of it as well. That makes sense?
Yep.
So yeah, you can make those for coming soon, exclusive, past sales. You put all this information in. Again, normally this is all the stuff that normally just pulls from MLS. But you have to manually put it in. You just keep hitting next. You go over here, you can add all these photos.
Great.
And then finally, you go over to listing info, put the price, when it's going live. You don't have to put, I guess, when it expires if you want to. Link to the MLS listing if it's coming soon on the MLS. You can put the link in there. And then here's the most important part. So obviously you're gonna put your remarks in here. There's this one button here, listing status. If that is off, it won't show up on your website. If it's on, it will.
So if it's already a property you've already sold recently, you still have to put the listing status button on? Or
Yeah,
this
I'm not
is a whole
sure.
other page that I have to explore?
Now, I'm not sure why, but yeah, you have
Okay.
to always have that on.
Yes. Back up just a second. Where you're inputting a property and it asks for the area, what are they referring to?
And property details.
When it's talking about property location, not details, location, global
Oh,
location. See, they come in and ask area, state, zip, area.
So
Maybe like
Is
South
that a
Charlotte or something like
subdivision?
that.
Well,
maybe.
neighborhood is subdivision.
yeah, I think this is more like Dilworth,
Mhm.
Noda, Plaza Midwood, like some in an area like that, because some of those are in the MLS. But yeah, I mean, really, it's up to you. Like I said, everything in here doesn't pull from the MLS. This is all you.
Right.
So you can put kind of whatever you want in there.
Can you pull past solds off the ML? Oh, you got MLS. Does it have the closed?
Should. Not everyone will. But yeah, I mean, you could go to your past sales and
That's what I want to do. So I
put
have
everything in
recent
there.
one.
Yeah. I mean, again, you could sit there for, an hour and get them all done. some of us like Angie will sit there forever because she's got so many past sales.
Yeah, right. Sherry, maybe. So,
Sherry too, for sure. But if you take the time and you invest in, you can make some of these pages. You can share those as shareables.
But you would be going. I mean, you wouldn't go back like way. But, well, the funny thing is, like, I never even put my stuff like on Zillow. Matt was showing. I mean, there's so many little things that this business is so. I need you like full time to do my stuff, please. I know.
But yeah, no, 100%. That's there's a lot of things that you can do for that. But this is just a good way, again, to kind of tap back into your sphere and people that follow you already to say, hey, this is what I've been doing. Check out the past sales that I've had. And again, you choose only the good, like the houses that are eye-catching maybe. That's, hey, check out this awesome. I'm so happy this one sold. It sold in a day. Like those are the ones I'd want to pull and put on there. You wouldn't want to put, one that sat on the market for months and months and months, right?
So is this going to go to your website, or is this just to generate leads for potential listings?
So it'll create a squeeze page link, but it'll show up on your website if you have that last one active.
So does it stay on your website? Like,
so if it's active, it'll show up under your listings tab.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's sold, I believe it comes off, but you can still have that link. And the link is really what matters. That link never dies.
So on your opening page, your home page, and you have, it says My Listings, that's where this is going to show up.
If the status is active. And you can put in under your agent profile too, it says My Listings. It'll show up in there. Yeah, if it's active. So you can organically, again, you can add manually your own listings. So the ones that are My Listings, those are pulled automatically from the MLS, but these are the ones you're manually putting in. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, sometimes they have people have pocket listings or whatnot that they want to advertise, but they're not on MLS yet. This would be how you do that.
Okay.
A lot of times this works really well with investors.
Right.
So even just to create the link to send them. Right. So any other questions on this? Good stuff. Okay. All right. All right, let's go over to Smart CRM. Okay. And so we're in Smart CRM now, and we can look here, and we can see a couple of things. So I'm just going to click on somebody for an example. Click on Jill and Frankie. So does everybody understand how the validation works and why the website doesn't ask for the names?
now where did you go to get there?
Mhm.
Where did you go? I'm sorry, I missed that.
The CRM, and then I clicked on
Smart CRM? Okay.
Yeah. I clicked on one of the leads' names.
So the validation report is just pulling from various social media and public records and all of that to confirm that it's the correct email.
Yeah, and then it also will change people's names as well based on what it finds.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, because it doesn't ask for a name, right? But sometimes, again, like it'll pull multiple things. So it says Jill and Frankie, so maybe that means that they share. They share that email, but obviously that's not their name. And so this is why it's important that if you go through and you see stuff like that, it's important that you go and you change the name, right? So like for me, I might just go and just change this just to Frankie, just so that when the emails go out, it doesn't say, hey, Jill and Frankie, right? You see what I'm saying?
So the email can pull off that name.
Exactly. I'm just going to change it to Frankie. So now when it's sending out the search alerts or sending out the market reports and stuff, those emails that go out, it won't say, hey there, Jill and Frankie. It'll just say, hey, Frankie. I have a listing for you that you might be interested in. So that's a step that I see a lot of people skip when they get a new lead and it comes in, it's got some wacky email or something, or even if you talk to them on the phone or you talk with them in text, if the name is wrong, that might be one of the first things I ask, hey, real quick. So, it's just, what do you go by or what can I save your contact in your phone, or what's your last name? Usually that's a good way to ask people too. You get their last name, you get their full name, then you can also, you can verify that's who they are, et cetera, and kind of put that in.
So you click, okay, like I have one that came through just an email address.
Mhm.
So you click on that to pull up, but now I'm not seeing where did you go to change the,
So in the top left, there's this little marker.
there.
Yep, you can change the name there. And
So
again,
when you click, like when I click that, it has 2 boxes. So is it first and then last name?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it sends out, like, because I haven't been in here, but when it's sending out stuff to them, I just noticed it sent out something to them. Does it say dear and then it put Jess, their email address to it? Yeah, that looks bad.
it puts whatever's in that top box. For
The
first
top,
name.
so that would be better. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of times people will forget to just go in and try to edit that. So, I mean, sometimes too, it doesn't change the name, but it'll find them on Twitter or Facebook or something. Sometimes if the name's all messed up, I'll click on the link just to go to find them on Facebook and make sure that I get the correct name, and then I'll replace it just so that it's matching to them, right? Because, when it's sending out those emails, and it's saying, hey there, gentlemen, 6238 at Yahoo,
Right.
come look at a house. That's obviously,
In person.
so it's a step that a lot of people skip that can make a big difference in the response rate that you guys get. Just making sure that's updated. Any questions on that? All right, good deal. So one thing that's a couple things here that are interesting that you guys can always take note of. You get a summary on the left-hand side of what they're looking at. You can see the average of what they're looking at, when they signed up, and where they came from. That third bullet is always interesting to me. Say, they were so Frankie was generated by Google, registered from a Google ad that was ran, right? And they looked at this house, 8:57 a.m. Yesterday. So you get a new lead that came through Google. And so that helps you kind of determine, right, where you're getting your leads from and how to kind of track that. But another way to kind of track how many people are looking at houses for sellers is this listing traffic report tab right here. Has anybody tried to use this before?
No.
Okay, so for your listings, all you got to do is if you put your seller into KVcore and you add the MLS ID, on the first of every month, it will send a report to the sellers with how many people viewed the house online, right? So a lot of times I get people that ask me, why should I put my sellers in there? That's exactly why. And here's the interesting fact too. It's not just your website. So because we all share, at least here in Charlotte, we're all under the Charlotte KVcore EXP account, then anywhere this house was pulled up on an EXP website in KVcore, anybody's. So it's on Tim's site, it's on my site, it's on Angie's site, anybody's site. It'll pull up and it'll show like how many people have viewed the property online, how many people have saved it, kind of like Zillow shows with that, except it'll email it to them.
Right.
Right? And I'll do that once a month, every month, if you set them up. Just put the MLS ID in there.
In a realtor, I think you have to manually send that to the sellers.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, a realtor, that's anybody viewing it on realtor.com, but if they view it somewhere else, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So basically we have almost 1,000 EXP agents now in Charlotte MLS. You take all those people, and each of them has a website. If anybody viewed that house on any of those people, any of our, websites, it'll show up on the report. So you should definitely put all your sellers on there, I think, for sure. Just a good way to kind of keep a peace of mind. Okay, they're getting a report. At least let them know what's going on.
Okay, I feel like I'm 2 steps behind today. I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, no, you're fine.
But so what you're saying there is, like, if I had my listing, you would put your seller the MLS and have it emailed to them.
Yeah. So what I would do is I put the seller as a contact here. So Frankie's their seller,
Okay.
and then I put Frankie's house, the MLS ID, into KVcore, and it'll send them a report once a month that just says, "Hey Frankie, 700 people looked at your house online this month, and 30 people saved it." Just kind of it helps, the seller know that you're doing your job, marketing it well online. Looks really good for you, basically.
Okay.
So is it pulling that count just from the KVcore hits? Or
Yeah,
from
that's
the
what
MLS
my
hits?
next.
It's not from the MLS hits, it's from the
It's just
KV. Yeah.
hits.
But like I said, it's not just our page, it's
Right,
everybody.
Yeah, I
So,
understand.
and actually, you know what? If you look, it actually brings up a good point. If you go over here, we'll come back to the CRM. That actually brings up a great point. So if you go to the listings tab, anybody ever done this? If you click on any listing here in
Yeah.
KVcore, you've seen this, Tim, right? So you can see here in KVcore, any listing that's in that listing tab, your leads. So none of their leads have looked at this house, but 3 people from the brokerage have looked at that online, right? So I'm gonna go back. Let's say I did. Pull mine real quick.
So these are all the listings within EXP.
Yes. See if I can find mine real quick. So again, you can see here, so like brokerage activity and then total KVcore views. You see 600 views there. Like it'll pull the statistics. So that's what it'll sense. Like, so it'll say, hey, 46 people have looked at it, I guess this month from like all of the EXP KVcores, and last month, I guess, it was just started a new month. Last month it was total 600. That's
Do you
how
do
many.
anything more to that to get more views?
Hmm?
Do you do anything more to that to get more views on the KVcore side?
I mean, posting it, making sure you put it into those network groups, putting it into Facebook Marketplace, boosting it, putting it on LinkedIn.
I don't think boosting it does anything. I like the ads. I think are better.
Well, yeah,
The
well,
ads.
Definitely running ads if you are good at running those. Sometimes boosting can be good if you're putting it into like a group,
Mhm.
because it'll show up like at the top always.
Right.
Like it'll be sponsored. So
Mhm.
the different ways to do it. But yeah, I mean that's. But you can see that. So a lot of people have viewed it. Like a lot of people have viewed it on Zillow and other places too. But you can also just show, okay, on top of that, an extra 600 people looked at it through KVcore, right? So that could be good to send your sellers. But basically, yeah, you could see that for any house on that's in MLS. And again, what's cool is that you could also, if you make them for coming soon, you can even show them how but you maybe take a screenshot. You can create a manual coming soon listing, put it somewhere, and say, hey, look how many people viewed it before it even hit the market.
Right.
You know, so you're just showing that your worth and you know, doing your job. So that makes sense. Good deal.
Going back to Smart CRM.
Yeah, we'll go back to Smart Serum. Okay. So let's go back to Smart Serum. I'm going to go back to Frankie. And let's see. So another thing that I like to do, so these alerts are big. Definitely. You want to make sure everybody has these search alerts set up. If you don't have everyone on a search alert in here and they're still in the MLS, Angie, are we still putting people into the MLS on the portal?
I don't remember what you're saying.
Are we not supposed to?
What now?
So do you still put people into the MLS portal and send them listings to the portal?
I do.
I do. Are we not supposed to?
You're saying
Not
to
a
do it
great
through
idea.
here?
Why not?
Well, it's great question. So
But now, wait, I'm even lost. Where do you get to alerts on that? I clicked on Smart CRM.
He went into an individual.
The very top alerts.
Angie, we've done this.
I know here's what I told Matt. If I'm the type of person, if I don't do it, but then keep doing it, then I forget it. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna have to start over. Because I've just been doing other stuff. I didn't do any more since we had the training.
I hear you.
So
here's, okay. You take anything away from today,
okay.
it's that you shouldn't be putting people into the MLS portal.
But it helps me
You should
monitor
not.
their activity. and what
Yeah,
they're
well, I like it because I've got it set up.
You're not wrong.
It tells me, I've got an alert that tells me when they go in, so I can watch what they're doing.
KVcore do the same thing,
Yeah.
Okay.
and you get more information. So here's, if this was the MLS portal, what would you see if they logged in and they looked at those things? They didn't save anything. What would you see? What information does it give you?
Would only
That they
like
visited
if they're doing the deleting it or loving it or possibility.
But if they don't, all it tells us is that they visited their portal.
Last login.
Right.
Yes.
That's all you get. So if this was the portal, cover all that up.
Oh, so
and all
this
you
is
see
showing
that.
what they're actually viewing.
Not only that, it shows what they viewed. It also it shows every house that they looked at, right? And then it also shows they looked at it on mobile, not on desktop.
Okay.
So you can see, okay, this might be a good lead to call because they're looking at all their homes on mobile. It shows everything they viewed, not just the ones they saved, right? You get a lot more information by setting them up in here, definitely.
So how do you set them up?
Yeah, that was a good question.
Well, that's the follow-up. But I just want to, so does everyone understand why you should do that, though?
Sure.
Right? Well, let me give you a better example. So let me give a better example. So some of the leads that I have in my KVcore, they've come back and looked at a house. I've seen one guy, he looked at this one house 23 times. Never saved it.
Just kept looking at it.
Just kept looking
But
at it.
I think it does, doesn't it, in the MLS
No.
tell you how many times? It
No,
doesn't?
No. It just
Only
says
if they save it.
fundamental activity. Just
Yeah.
this person looked and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. I never
So-
look at it that closely.
So to me, I could go into the MLS, I could save a whole bunch of things and then totally forget it. Exactly.
Okay.
To me, it's more important if I see somebody that comes back and they've looked at it 23 different times,
That means you're giving them a call.
they're probably
That means
interested.
they're
Yeah.
serious, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just a hit the heart button. Oh, I like that one. And
Yeah.
then you think that they want to buy it. No, that doesn't mean that, right? They can still save stuff on here. But like I said, so I'll have one guy, he saves like a bunch of things, but he would only view it once. So I'm like, that's interesting. He probably, he never came back and looked at it again. Doesn't really like it. But then there's that one that he's looked at a bunch. That's the one I'm calling. Hey, so I see you logging in every 2 days looking at that house on the corner there at Main Street. I'm gonna go check it out. Yeah, we keep looking at it. And showed it to my neighbors, showed it to my wife. And so that's why you put them on here,
Right.
because you can see every time they logged in what they looked at. And if they're looking at that same house over and over, that shows a lot more than just them clicking the heart bucket and put it into their saved bucket on MLS. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And again, so it's interesting too, because some people will only look at stuff on the desktop. Some people only look at stuff like on mobile and somewhere in between. But if they're looking at everything like on their phone, okay, maybe the best communication for them is the text, right? Stuff like that. Or if they're only on desktop, okay, keep hitting them with email, right? So, but that's definitely why you use it, okay? So now so how to set them up, and this might be review. Tell me, no, you probably done a whole bunch of this.
No, I haven't. That's why I'm here today.
Okay, good deal. So we're gonna go. So everyone's see where the mouse is. I got it hovering over timeline. That shows all your correspondence, right? Right next to it is alerts. Okay. All right. So in alerts, you can see everything here. Again, it's set up similarly to the MLS. This is definitely review for you, Sherry. Has to be. Are you still putting people in the portal? Or you got people on here?
Oh, always.
Okay, so that brings
We're always
me to-
adding people to your portal.
That's a good
Well,
question.
he's saying you should do it through KVcore.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I
true.
don't do anything through MLS. No way.
Oh, so you're putting them through KVcore.
Yes.
Okay,
That
good.
was-
No way. MLS
Yeah.
is a waste of time.
Okay, so that
So
was-
listen to Sherry.
Okay, so you're doing it all through.
Yeah, you need to use that's why you have to CRMs.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a great deal on it, but
Does
we
it
got
all
to use it.
for you.
The best CRM is the one you use, right?
Okay, so just an aside, if you don't want them to get the portal and the CRM. I mean, you don't want to get the portal and KVcore, right? So
Exactly.
you
So
want to be certain that you're not duplicating, flooding them with two different engines.
here's what you do. And this is what I tell all of the clients again that hire me, stuff like this. I say, if you have like 50 people in the MLS and they're in the portal, you take them out, and then one by one, you send them a text and an email that just said, hey, I just joined a company. I have a new website. It's awesome. It's a better experience for you. That's how you have to pitch it. Hey, so I'm going to cut off your search alert on the portal, but don't worry, I'm going to still send you listings, but it's going to be through my brand new website, and it's going to be a better user experience. It's easier to use and to manipulate. Here's the link, and I'll start sending you emails from there. That's the only thing that's going to change. Nothing else changes. It's just the email will come from a different place. And then after you send all those emails, you one by one take them off the portal and put them on KVcore. Set them up. That's how I do it.
And they don't need to do anything on their end.
All they need to do is just click on the email when you send them the listing, and they're in.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and so Sherry, you might have had to move people over, right?
No, because I had a previous one with a different company and
Yeah.
I used it. So no, I've never used MLS.
Yeah.
It's the CRMs are,
A lot better.
yes, they're made for you to track everything.
Yeah.
I'm texting this guy right now. He's replying right to me. I mean, it's right in my CRM.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
And you can see every house that they've looked at, which is like, you don't ever want to tell them that, but it's good to know. Yeah.
His text comes in.
It comes right into the app, the KVcore app.
Or it tells
Yeah.
me that he texts me back, and then I just send another text to him.
Yeah. So, did that answer your question though?
Yeah, I just want to be sure that you know to shut one off before you start the other one. Yeah.
And then that's exactly how I do it. Is I would shut them off. I'd have them side by side. Have the portal at KVcore. Okay, I'm setting them up in KVcore. Now I'll take them out of the portal and do the same thing. And then send them a text, send them an email. Hey, just want to let you know, moving to this awesome company. Got my own website now. It's much better looking, nicer, and easier to use than the MLS. And you'll be able to view a lot more things. You can search by school zones or whatever. You can do more. And, blah, 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 blah. And most people actually like it. Oh, congratulations, that's awesome. They have no idea. They don't really care to them. But you say, hey, it's a benefit to you, right? It's good. And that's a good way to get them out, put them in here. So, Angie, you got some homework.
Lots of homework. Yeah, and then somebody's like, So I'm getting texts about my house right now, so I'm sorry. So my mind's a little distracted.
No, I understand.
So how do you
All
set
right.
them up? Because I try
Yeah.
to set a couple of things. Someone up on a like a buyer campaign.
Campaigns is completely different, and I'm
Okay.
actually not that big on the
Got it.
campaigns.
No problem.
Um,
So how do you set them up in the KVcore?
Yeah, so that's another. So search alerts and campaigns are very different.
Okay.
Search alerts I always set up for people. Market reports I always set up.
Yeah.
Campaigns I'm kind of less big on because I'd rather reach out myself
Right.
and do it personally. I think having something automatically go out, to say, hey, this is Nick, I'm here to help, blah, 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 blah. Something that sends out immediately, totally agree with. People who have 3-year campaigns,
That's
less big on, because I think, again, it needs to be more personal.
Yeah.
But that's just me, my opinion on this.
So the
But-
search alert is what you do?
But yeah, so for the search alerts, we were in timeline, now we're in alerts. Does everyone see that tab up there in the alerts tab? So once you're into the alerts tab, you can set up 2 separate alerts. So like I have a woman right now that's looking for a house in Huntersville, but she's looking for land in Harrisburg, right? So you can set up like 2 totally separate searches here in the alerts tab. And so again, you just go through here. So like if I was setting up a new one, I could go here, I could hit edit, and then you just walk through. It's basically this. It just looks a little bit different than the portal, but it's the same thing, right? You put your listing type. You don't need to touch keywords. If you want to do options, these are those like in the MLS, right? When you set someone up, there's these little tiny drop-down bars where you can barely even read the text, right? The whole page is like a pain to deal with, and you're like trying to like read all that stuff. So here you go, waterfront, water view, right? Views, pool, no pool, 1, 2, 3 car garage. I mean, it's all the same stuff.
And you can choose multiple options, right?
You can, but to me, I always try to narrow people down to one. Because some people want a pool, they want master on main, they want a fenced yard, they want over an acre, but they want it to have no HOA, and it's just like, well,
Then
good
you're not
luck
gonna
finding
get any
that.
listings, right?
So we've all had crazy people, right? I don't even want to hear the stories. People that they don't know what they want. So I always try to say, well, what's the most important thing that you just could not live without? I understand you want these other things, and we'll look for that. But what's the one thing you could not live without?
Yeah.
And try to narrow them down, and that's what you put as that option. I have to have master on main. Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
That's usually the thing with me, so.
Yeah. No stairs.
This particular one that I'm in was a lead that came off the website.
Mhm.
So it looks like they've already got them set up on an alert. They do it automatically if it comes to your website. They set it up.
Yes, great point. So
So
basically,
I'm trying to see.
So for example, I'll give you a good example. So this guy, wow, look at that, some high price listing. Looked at 4 properties, and mostly in Mooresville. Average price,
Oh my
$8.5
gosh.
million, right? Yeah.
So is that one of your leads?
They're leads.
Oh,
But,
okay. Somebody needs to.
But see, again, this is just based on what they're looking at. So, I'll put it this way. The system will always set up a search alert based on what they look at. But if I can only afford $200,000 house, and I'm looking at $195,000, $210,000, $180,000. Ooh, let me start dreaming. I'm gonna look at a $6 million house. Then the average goes way out of whack, right? And the system only knows numbers, and so it's gonna base it off of whatever they're looking at. So take it with a grain of salt. But basically, like if I call this guy and he's like, well, I was looking at a bunch of big houses, but really I'm looking in the 250s, something like that. That's when you go and fix and adjust their search. But that's yet another reason why you want to set them up in here. Because if I see that they're looking at a bunch of $200,000 houses, and then I see the $10 million house, now I know, because I see what they viewed, not just what they saved. And I can go and adjust the range. But definitely you want to adjust everybody's searches when they come in, if it puts them on one automatically. It's just going to take the average right? That's all it's going to do is give it a buffer, take the average. You definitely want to make sure you get those figured out. And then a couple points here at the bottom. On frequency, you guys want to talk about that for a minute? They give a couple options. I like how they give a lot more options. You know, you have instant, daily, twice a week, weekly, and monthly. I'm kind of partial to twice a week and daily or instant. Instant would be if they're looking for something specific, like I was saying,
Yeah.
right? And they want to know as soon as it hits the market, or if somebody says, I got to move in the next 30 days, put them on instant, and I'll start hitting them with emails every day, multiple times a day. Daily is just once a day, twice a week, every 3 days. You know, so even if somebody's just kind of browsing, I think twice a week is fine. Every 3 days. You know, you got to kind of play the numbers game. About 10 to 20%, depending, you know, 10 on the low end, 20% on the high end, of all emails sent are ever opened. So if that's the case, 1 to 2 out of every 10 emails that I'm sending these people, they're actually going to open. And then out of the ones they open, how many are they going to click on? Now the ones they click on, how many are they going to, you know, sign up for a lead? So if you're playing the numbers game like that, and you're like, well, I don't want to bug them. I'm only going to say once a month, or you know, even once a week. Even if you do once a week, there's only 52 times a year. Let's say they only open like 5 to 10 of those. That's not a lot. That's like once a month they're looking at the website. I don't know if that really sells them. So I'm kind of more partial twice a week because that's every 3 days. Now I'm over 100. I'm like 120 times a year. They're getting an email. A lot better chance that I convert them.
And I'm going to assume there's an unsubscribe button somewhere in KVcore, like when they're getting.
All the time.
Okay.
Yeah, every email at the bottom lets them know they can opt out. But that's why, again, I think to me, I do twice a week on listing alerts. My personal, I do twice a week if they're just browsing.
Yeah.
And then I set them up on a market report once a week. So now I know that 3 times every week,
They're getting in touch.
150 times a year, they're getting some sort of email. Boom. No.
But you said you're against campaigns. Wouldn't that be like on an auto campaign thing?
Campaign is different. A campaign is sending out messages as if it's you.
Okay.
So like a campaign would say, like that other guy, what was it, Freddie? Hey, Freddie, this is Nick. How you doing? Just checking in to see if you're looking to buy a house now. And to me, that doesn't sound like personal. Like a lot of them, unless you really put a lot of detail into them, people will know, like, Nick, that's not you, right? That was a computer.
Yeah.
I feel like people are much more likely, and this is just my opinion, people are much more likely to unsubscribe from a campaign than from a listing.
Okay.
You know
They
what I
want
mean?
to see the houses.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, I always think about it like value proposition. If I'm saying, here's a list of houses you might be interested in, here's a market report of what's being sold in your area, that's value. And I don't mind seeing that in my inbox. In fact, you know, if I didn't want to open it, I'll just delete it. I'm not going to unsubscribe though, because I might open it next time.
Right.
If I see an email that's like, hey there, you know, whatever, Jill and Frankie 0301 at Yahoo. This is Nick. How you doing? Just checking in on you. Then it's just like, I mean, that's, you know what I mean? I would unsubscribe in a heartbeat.
Right.
So that's why I'm less partial to those. And I feel like if you're going to message people, you got to have your own personality. Like we all have different personalities here. And if there's a computer sending out just messages randomly pretending to be you,
Yeah.
I feel like people will instantly just like, Nick, that's not you. Like, you know, just take me off like the drip.
Last question. So when you have it on alert, I have something that says inactive. What exactly is that?
So if it's inactive, it's off. So if it's blue and it's active, it's on. It's going to be sending them houses. If it's red and it's inactive, it
So
does
I have
not.
to fill that out all the way first before I can click
Yeah.
inactive?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the bottom, you want to hit save and send. Actually, so get back to my point on frequency. Want to send twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's even if they're browsing. If they're more serious, I'll even send daily.
Right.
Because think about it this way: if there are no houses that match their search, it won't send anything. Especially once you get to a certain price point, like 600,000 and up, there's only going to be a handful that match their criteria anyway.
Right.
So just put them on daily because it might not send for people are like, well, I don't want to send them every day. But what if something doesn't match for what if something doesn't show up for a week?
Yeah.
and during that week, someone else buys it. Now it's off the market. They just missed out.
Where do you look at the market reports? How do you personalize the market reports? Is it just the zip code is all it goes by?
We have neighborhoods too, right?
Yeah. So,
Where do you build the market reports?
so they generate the reports for you. You don't ever have to build them.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you put somebody on the market report and it's just the zip code, that's all they're going to get a report on.
Yes.
And so where can I look at the market report that they're getting?
From your website.
Okay. It's from the website.
Yeah.
I put in a neighborhood here for the market report.
Yeah, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Well, what she's saying is if you put just one zip code, it's only going to show that zip code,
Okay.
right? Now, you can set people up on multiple reports. Totally fine as well.
Did you do your video?
No, I'm actually shooting a new video on Friday. So going up
This is your page?
Yeah, this is my website.
Okay.
Looks okay, I guess. I'm actually going to be getting a new website. So, but
So you want to do a new video of downtown? Or
so I'm actually going up in a helicopter on Friday to shoot video of Uptown and Lake Norman.
That's cool.
So,
Ah.
You do your own
And you can
video.
upload it.
So who's taking you on the helicopter?
well, I'm not flying. And that's what you're asking. There's a pilot and a camera crew. I got a buddy of mine too. Does really good stuff. But I'll also record some stuff. And then we had one extra seat, and Annie, my girlfriend, really wanted to go just for fun. So she's just going to take selfies pretty much the whole time while we're in the air. I'm going to be doing work, and she'll be, So, yeah. But yeah, so we're going to do a new video. But anyway, so you can go and scroll through your website. Actually, if you go to more options, they show this little tab down here. So any of your leads can kind of view this free market report area right there. You can actually make it like a link on your page if you put it embedded in the code. But this is like just how you do it.
I didn't see. Oh, okay. More options.
And then under the search tab,
Got
you
it.
see free market report, right? And again, so you can put in like,
You're on your site searching for this?
yeah, we just want to see what the consumer sees, right?
Right.
What would the customer see? So if I type, I'm gonna put in the zip code for Huntersville. Here we go. It looks like I'm already logged in. So if I wasn't logged in, it would ask for my information. Hey, I need your email and number to view this report. So here you go. I have this report. There I am, Nick. And it'll show you active listings, new to market, off market, days on market, price reductions, list price, right? Recent listings that just came live. And actually what I found, these are updated like every 15 minutes. So like if I ran this report like 20 minutes from now, like these would be different listings. If there's new listings within the last 20 minutes. So it shows like the most recent listings in Huntersville. There's a couple hot listings. Wow. $4.5 million house in Huntersville. There you go. A couple listings have gotten a lot of views, traffic on here. They can go here to subscribe if you need help selling your home. So to answer your question, you can't really manipulate or edit them. They're just generated for you, which to me is actually just easier.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what was going out.
Yeah.
So,
This is what's going on.
Okay.
It'll literally say, and again, that's a reason why you want to make sure the name is accurate, because it will say, hey, Frankie, I have a new market report for you for 28078. You can see what the average sold price is, how many days on market, what's being listed, what's being sold, etc. Click here to view the report. And then they can click from the email and it takes them right here. Okay. So again, it's important that you get the name right.
Yeah.
Because it just makes a big difference. So. Any questions on this though? Like I said, it's enough to basically just draw them back to your website. The more times people on your website, right, we're talking about that numbers game, the higher likelihood that you close. You know, we as realtors close between 1% and 4% of all deals, but the difference between the guy doing 60 homes a year and selling a bunch of real estate and the person just, you know, selling a couple homes a year, barely making a living is 1% to 4%. 4% is 4 times as much business. It's actually a big deal, right?
Very much so.
You know, if I said, okay, you could sell 12 homes a year, but if you use the system, you might be able to sell 48 homes. That sounds like it's a lot more, but percentage-wise, it's only a couple percentage points more, right? So it's all about conversion. And again, I think to me, just based on what I've seen, again, my opinion is that the campaigns have a higher unsubscribe rate because they're not personal. And that if you're sending them reports, if you're sending them listings, that is what helps you close ultimately. Because ultimately, you got to get them on the phone. You're never going to close somebody through email, right? Have you ever closed a deal through email?
I wish.
Is someone ever sent you, like, let's make an offer, and you've never spoken with them? Like,
Yeah.
you have to get them on the phone, bottom line. You got to call people. That's bottom line. But if they're at least on your website constantly looking at things, then when you make that call, it makes it a hell of a lot easier.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, now it's an easy phone call. Hey, well, you know, you've been looking at a lot of stuff anyway. You know, what do you like? What do you want to go see something? Oh, that one down there. Oh, cool, let's go set up a showing. Oh, you know, talk with the lender yet. It makes it so much easier than
Yeah.
you have no idea what they're talking about. So yeah. Any other questions on that? What those reports look like
Where'd you click on there? I don't see it on mine.
on your website?
Yeah. Did you just put it in at the top where it says put in an address or something?
Nope. So if you go
I'm doing a
to
search.
yeah, if you either go to search or like if I'm going back to the home page, there's like more options right in the middle. Right, see it says more options.
Okay, hold on.
You just pull that up, and then like underneath those search bars, there's a little button for free market report.
Perfect, thank you.
There it is. And that's just on the consumer side.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we talk about?
Can you send that as a link?
I was just about to get to that.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, you're one step ahead of me, so that's good. That's good. So let's just talk real quick. If you want to set your leads up, and again, I would suggest to do this for everybody that comes in. Anybody that comes in. Doesn't matter if they're passed by either. So Angie, why would you want to put all of your leads into KVcore? All of your Sphere? Well, let me put it this way. Every single one of my friends now, if they don't use me as a realtor, then they either just have never opened their email ever, or like I've done an awful job like texting them or whatever, because I send them everybody. I put everybody on a market report. Anybody at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like all, college buddies, friends of mine, family, cousins, whoever, put them on a report once a week. Yeah. Everybody's got to live somewhere.
You're right.
People move every 5 to 6 years.
So you do say do it once a week versus doing it monthly. I know at Allen Tate they had
All times a
something
year is not
about what did you
Go
say?
ahead. Go ahead.
Well, at Allen Tate we had some market report. I don't know if I never really did it, but
I didn't see it.
you what now? Okay, we'll have to talk. But
Yeah.
anyway, so they had it where it was monthly.
I don't think
But-
it's enough.
But I will say their report looks, I got to look at it a little bit more. Well, I guess it just seemed like it was given more information than this one's
But
given.
also their report, that information from the clients didn't really come to us. And with this, it's all the information, like we're going to see it firsthand.
Right.
So that's the benefit, in my opinion, of this versus.
Right.
Well,
And
and
those
those are-
didn't use either, so I guess I just got to get to use it. Like you said, the best one is if you do it. So
Yeah, the best CRM for you is the one you use the most.
yeah, right.
Definitely.
So I just never did it.
And I'm not here
But
to
you're
debate.
saying to do it once a week, just so they'll.
I'm saying if let's say you have an old friend of yours that you've known for a long time, but maybe haven't connected with in a while, been a couple years since you talked with them. If you're only sending them an email once a month, 12 times a year. And like I said, maybe they open 10 to 20% at best.
So that's why you're doing it once a week. So maybe they'll open one of them.
If they only open 2 emails a year, you
Yeah.
might have already bought a house by then.
Yeah.
With somebody else.
So you're just putting them on their neighborhood to let them know about what's
I
going
usually
on.
do like city or zip code.
So you do the whole zip code. So then that would give more. Okay.
Yeah, well, because think about this. If it's a small subdivision that's less than like 400 homes, you're only going to have maybe like a couple sales in the past month. You might have a month
So
where
maybe
there's
that's
no
why
sales.
these are looking small. I think
Yeah.
somehow I've got myself sent one, and I looked at it the other day. I'm like, God, I didn't
think I
show
said-
me any houses.
I set you up on your own.
This is
you
probably
can
what
see it.
happened. I'm like, what is this? Okay. Okay. So,
Exactly what happened.
so you do
saying
zip
put 'em all
code
in
or city?
Oh, yeah.
as a lead and then set up a market report.
And I put them as spheres, so I know, and I labeled it. Obviously, you don't know, but like I said, I took like all the contacts in my phone, and even like friends and family. I put on a report. Like I have my parents on a report. I don't care. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like cousins. I'm like, I don't care. You get an email from me once a week, and I let them know. Like, hey, by the way, I know you know that I'm a realtor, but people forget. Just once a week, I'm just going to send you a report so that, and I put it like this too. It's value. I'm not saying the economy is going to go up, down, east, west, whatever. I don't know. I'm not an economist. Can't predict the future. But if anything happens, you'll be the first to know because every week I'm going to let you know, right? And I think people buy into that, and they're much more likely to be okay with that than, And I think, again, I think once a week is fine. Like if you set everyone up and like let's say we go to church once a week, and it's like if you can't send them a report every Saturday morning that's helpful information, then they're never going to ever buy from you anyway, or they're just going to rent for the rest of their lives and throw their money down the drain. So, so I'm like, so that's just kind of my thought process in that whole deal. So yeah, even people like that I have, in other areas that maybe are interested in Charlotte. Like I have some
I was
people.
going to ask about that. Is there like any relocation information I can throw to someone? Because my sphere here isn't large.
So EXP is actually building something to kind of accommodate that.
Okay.
There's another app that's being built that will allow us to tap into like any MLS. And that's coming soon. So that's really cool about that company that's kind of on the horizon.
Okay.
But for now, it's mostly like I have a couple people in Raleigh that want to move to Charlotte potentially. I just put them on a Charlotte report. And they'll send me messages every once in a while. Nick, man, that one you sent me the other day, that was a nice house. I'm like, cool. Get a good job so you can come buy it.
Yeah.
And I'll help you out. I got my buddy closing on the house next week. So that'll be cool. Yeah, it was in Raleigh. So, but I'm like, yeah, I mean, you want to live on Lake Norman? It's so funny because like I said, if you set people up in here, you can see what they're looking at. And so I can see when my friends and family are, they're bored and looking at houses on my website. And surprisingly, my grandmother is like the most active user I have. And she's always looking at stuff. And she thinks that every single, bless her heart, I love her so much. But she thinks that every single house on my website is one that I've sold.
Right.
So she's like, wow, you sold that big one on the lake. And I'm like, I wish,
Did you tell her or you just let her?
No, of course I tell her, but she just can't believe me.
I know, well, yeah.
If all your clients believe that, then you've got a great brand.
Yeah, I think that time when I sent
Yeah.
the stuff out, we did them on Facebook, did those squeeze pages. My dad was like, wow, Angie, you sold this, you did that. And I was like,
Exactly.
he was thinking it, the perception.
Perception is
Like,
reality
right,
sometimes. I
yeah.
mean,
Big until you make it.
she's 90 years old, and I was teaching her. We just bought her a laptop, and she's on there every day now. She's so smart too. So that's where I get it from. So I guess maybe that's what my dad said.
So she can get in there and she could probably teach this class, right?
Yeah.
She'd be like,
So I'll put that video on Facebook of me teaching how to use it. Oh,
I'll have
yeah.
to look at it. I haven't seen that one. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Put your business page up.
my no is too cute. Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
When you click on a prospect or on like you're in there now.
Yeah.
So like for instance, I have somebody that, they logged on, they registered, are really just looking, right now, whatever else. I obviously want to get them out of the new lead status, so I usually put them in as like a prospect or something like that. They're really not a prospect to me, but there's no other things to choose from.
Yeah, you can't add them,
I
unfortunately.
know, it stinks. But when I put them in as a prospect and I hit save, it changes obviously the status of maybe the emails, the campaign status, I guess, basically.
Only the campaigns.
Yeah, and then it just switched to a red, so it made him red. So he'll still be able to go on and view properties as he needs it. At that point, he's just not going to be getting anything from me. Is that correct? Is that what it changes it to?
No. So so if you change their status.
So for instance, go on there and then hit prospect, and then it'll give you a message.
Yeah, but it'll say you're going to change campaigns, right?
Yes. It's kind of like a warning.
Yeah. Are you sure this action could affect or remove the currently assigned smart campaign? So the key there is that all it could change is the campaign. So it's not. They'll still get their search alerts. They'll still get their market reports.
So what they've looked at and is doing, that the system's still going to do that.
Doesn't change nothing.
All right.
It only affects for you. So now you can sort like you just said. Right.
So it just puts them, because it changed their top to a red. So it's just going to put them in a different status. So I see that they're just a prospect looking.
It's just a visual way to group people.
I just wanted to make sure, it's just to make sure what it changes it to.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. But that's really all it does. Yeah, that's really all it does. It's if you have somebody on a new lead campaign, then it'll only be for that campaign. Some people have like prospect campaigns and active client campaigns and under contract campaigns, right? Again, I'm like more personal. I'd rather just text or call them myself, right? So I'm not as big on that, but that's the only thing it would affect. Yeah.
My vanity domain just got set up.
There you go. Ask and you shall receive.
I'm telling you.
You had to submit a ticket.
Your what now?
My vanity domain.
What is a vanity?
So it's just you buy your own domain name and then like his. What is yours name? What is yours?
Nick knows
Nick
NC.
knows. Thank you.
Pass one down.
So instead of like the EXP, it'll say the one that I've chosen. Thank you.
They set that up for you?
Well, you have to buy your own.
They
Domain
link,
name.
your chosen website name
Yep.
to
So you
the
go out and
EXP.
GoDaddy and get your own.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep. You got it.
Something.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done that, it's like $1 a month.
Yeah, it's really
Highly
cheap.
recommend. Highly recommend you do that.
I'm so excited. I could actually see something. Alicia in the Carolinas.
Oh, nice. Alicia in the Carolinas. I like it. That's good. So about mine, I wanted to buy nickknows.com. It was $10,000.
Whew.
So then I put Nick Knows NC, $2.
Yeah. Big difference.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah, they've been trying to sell my name for $5,000 for the last 10 years.
Yeah, you know what annoys me? So some people who can buy their name, like if I could buy nickmacri.com, I would do it in a heartbeat. Some jerk has it and never used it.
And then wants
Yeah.
to charge you an arm and leg to get it from him, probably.
What do you think about the realtor domain?
What do you mean?
Well, instead of instead of like
.com or
.com or you can buy your realtor dot. Yeah, that hasn't caught on.
Well, the hard thing is that 90% of all domains are .com, and so it's like people won't even think to search it. Like even .co, they will not end up on your website because they're forgetting an M. These are actually my old cards. I'm about to get some new ones too.
.net.
I had a neighbor that picked up
.net's been pretty
.com.
Yeah, .net can be good too, but again, just like it's like people's default will be .com.
Right.
That's why it's so valuable. That's why if I could buy nickmacri.com right now, I'd do it. But somebody owns it and has owned it for 10 years and has never used it.
That's right.
And it's, some websites, if you look, they'll have like a thing that says call this number to buy it. It doesn't even have that. There's nothing there. And I'm like,
Probably some broker that owns it.
I don't know who it is, but he sucks.
So by buying it, what do you think the value is of buying your name?
Maybe it's his name.
Well, you can do anything with it. So, like, I have a marketing business. We're launching a magazine. I just started a real estate team. And what if I want to do, like, you know, I don't know, what if I get bored halfway through my life and start selling T-shirts or whatever. Yeah, I just want to own nickmacri.com, but somebody has it and I can't get it. So
It's your brand.
Yeah, it's a brand, exactly. I mean, it's easy to remember too. Like, you know, think about if you're going to an appointment and somebody's like, oh, real quick, you know, I don't have time to get your card. You don't have any cards in you. Hey, what's your website? Oh, nickmacri.com. Just my name.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll remember that. Boom, done. And then it's easy. So that can be really, really valuable, especially just people know you. You know? So, but yeah,
That's okay.
it is what it is. So why don't we do this? Give an option. Do we either want to take a quick break, they'll come back, or do we want to just keep going and then we'll wrap up a little bit early?
I did have a question, but I can ask after if that's okay.
Yeah, I just had
It's
questions that
unrelated.
I wanted to ask after.
And take a bathroom break.
Oh, you want to take a bathroom break?
All right, I'm going to take a quick break if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that. All right, cool.
Not
We'll take a
full
quick
hour.
break because I'm going to get a quick water I need to drink.
I see bathroom. Let me drink.
I want to learn how to do it. Did we talk about when we took the class last and our landing pages by any chance? We talked about landing pages is what I want to learn. That's very valuable. A lot of the stuff that I'm learning here is I pay for outside services, and then maybe it's paid for a lot of what else. Or something. To be honest with you. Have you been looking at skincare for a while now?
Yeah, I haven't been as active as I used to be though.
They're
I've got to get more active. It's just then I take a trip and I come back.
Well, that's nice. Take a trip.
Take a trip.
Recharge.
Yeah.
And Angie, have you been with Sherry? Oh, Sherry, I'm sorry. Have you been with
About
us?
8 months.
Are you liking it?
Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
Where were you before?
I was at High Garden for about 5 years, I guess.
What time? Where you living in Charlotte? Or?
No, I live in Fort Mill, in South. I live in TUK myself, and I ran and managed the South Carolina office at High Garden.
Very good.
Yeah, enjoy it.
So you just moved everything into KVcore.
Yeah. That seems to be
That's
the
your
best
main
way.
contact for everything. That's your main workspace.
Yeah, I mean, it does about right, so you might as well keep track of everything in
Yeah.
there.
Because back in the day, a top producer was the big one, and it was expensive.
Yeah, you have to pay for it. I
There's a
mean,
lot
here
of
you're
good
getting
CRMs.
it. Here you're getting it with it. So
There's a lot of good CRMs, but you have to, pay for it.
Well, what we could do, we could do a Zoom call too. Screen share this. So, I do.
I don't know, everybody I've spoken to that's moved over has been extremely happy, so.
How's it going with Finsbury?
it's all right.
So are you getting a lot of showings or?
Yeah, we definitely did it first. I have to get my people that are in there closing July 3rd on their house, so that'll help, I think, with getting it.
I
finished
hated
and
to
tracking
see
and
that they
stuff.
didn't buy it,
Yeah, they're sweet people, but it was just better for them to get something else.
Yeah, that's what Billy was saying. Now, are they on the lake or near the lake?
Yeah.
That's what,
They're not on the lake.
they're not on the lake, but they're,
they're just in the back here.
okay. Okay. Well, get me good neighbors, please. I know you don't have any. I know it's a funny thing that in a way, I'm like, okay, do I go out and find my own people to find the neighbor? But then I'm like, okay, you end up getting people that people don't You know what I'm saying? This is like a catch-22.
I would for sure find my own person if
Yeah,
I could.
I know. Yeah,
I've
if I
showed it a
could.
couple times.
I wish that I
we'll
could.
see.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I get so caught up in whatever my kids are doing that all this is secondary, which I know, boy, some things are changing in my life. So I got a big why. So I got to start making this a primary, you know.
Yeah.
But trying to do everything, it just gets hard.
Yeah, it's
So-
easier. It's easier when they're gone.
So your kids are all fully
Yeah.
grown and everything?
Yeah,
Okay.
one's just graduated college and one's going to be a sophomore. So
Oh, okay.
makes it easier when they're
Yeah, when you're not, because
you
I'm
have all your
still,
free time.
I just took my son to get his permit. But we haven't even had time. I mean, I've never even taken him out, so I got to take him to a parking lot or something like that, you know. And he keeps saying, "Oh, Mom, you could just sit back." And I said, "No, it won't be like that. I'll be more," because usually, like, I try not to be on the phone when I'm with him, but I make a lot of my phone calls when I'm going to pick him up, or you know. But it's tough. And then I'm sitting here looking now. I'm about an hour away from my parents in Winston. And my mom had this procedure, and so I'd really like to go see her, but then I'm trying to figure out if I go there, I'm literally just going to have maybe 30 minutes or so before I need to really be getting back, because I can get home to TK for all the traffic to be able to take him to basketball. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have all the 5 o'clock traffic maybe.
Yeah.
So
when they start driving, it's a game changer.
yeah. And where did your kids go to school?
They went to Fort Mill, and then they're at Clemson.
Clemson?
One graduated.
My daughter's in the honor school at Clemson. She loves it. She's down at the Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston this summer. And she's really enjoying that. She loves that. So we will see.
Is he talking to him?
So when did you like, how long were you with Alan Tate?
About 2 years.
2 years. Okay. I thought maybe the way you sounded like you didn't stay long at all, but you stayed a little bit.
Yeah, I got what I got out of it.
Yeah. So which office were you
I
at?
was in Wesley Chapel.
Oh, so you with what's her name? Yeah, Wendy. Oh yeah. Yeah, I love Wendy. I love Wendy.
Okay,
Wendy
but
was
I
the
went
one
to
that
I went to NC
was
State,
that I went with
and I got
that
to meet him a
interviewed
couple times.
me initially when she was a recruiter.
She interviewed you?
Yeah.
Well,
That's why I said her.
Yeah, I was interviewing that.
Well, of course, but
I
I
just
mean,
had
she
to,
was the
right.
one.
She's
I was-
fantastic.
But what I was gonna say is, I wasn't planning on going there.
Mhm.
When I'm saying she took me to lunch and all that stuff, but they took me. I interviewed with Pat Riley. I don't know if you did that.
No.
No, I did. They asked me. They knew what they were doing because I went. I thought I would be going to Keller Williams, and then Sybil was a real recruiter, but Sybil said, "I want you to go up to the corporate," and she had me interview with Pat Riley. So, and I've talked to several. I've never met anybody else that's done that. So
Yeah.
they did it because I have a marketing background. And I have my master's in business,
Definitely
and I
be a
always
longer
thought if I
conversation.
if real estate doesn't work
talk
out
about
for
that.
me,
But
I
yeah,
always
so
thought that I would go up there and work.
Right.
A lot of marketing.
But to be honest, and Pat was like a dad, so I cried when I left. I loved
Really?
Carol. Yeah,